Hello, my friends. Welcome to my channel. I wanted to do a little new moon inspiration for you today, and I feel like there is a definite separation of people. There are people who are trying to fight a system. There's some of us that are just fighting in a different way. Some of us have relatives that are in the military, myself included. Some people are, think that their entire life is posting on social media, and that, if they just keep posting the same negativity, that maybe eventually other people will admit they're wrong. Big picture, negative energy is very dense. It's very dense, it's very thick, and it's supposed to keep you from seeing the light. But what's crazy about that is I believe anytime that even in the darkest of days, there is still light. And you have to go into the dark and sit in the dark a little bit before you see the light. And I think some people try to say, people like myself who are very whimsical and I live a very positive and abundant life. I think some people like to think that maybe I haven't been in the dark, but trust, the most whimsical women out here have lived in the dark so much. And now it is their job to remind people that you have to come out of the light too. It is vital, I think, especially when it's coming to celebrate womanhood. I think we're in a time where women are falling back into their listening to their bodies again. We were taught for centuries that intuition and our own psychic ability and our ability to see clearly what's happening when it's not materially happening in front of us, we've been taught that skill is a lie. And men have it too, but I'm speaking specifically to women. And I think that this particular time is really teaching us, if you haven't felt it yet, just by watching some of the things on the news, which again, I don't subscribe to anymore, but I pulled something up the other day and I was like, this can't be real. It looked like a full, $3 million budget film, which I know is nothing right now, but to everything, the way the people were speaking, I could tell they were reading from a script. So if you're having situations like this, please tap, say, yes, I've seen this too. Say, yes, this resonates. Because again, we want this message to spread to other women who may be in the dark right now. Okay. So for this new moon in Taurus, and we also have Uranus moving into Taurus too. And it's, moving out of Taurus into Gemini. And if we know about the planet Mercury, people talk about Mercury retrograde and all that, and I am not an accomplished astrologer. I intuitively read astrology when I'm coaching people because I need to see their blueprint. I look at their astrology, their whole sign astrology, but I look at other platform astrologies because I want to get the essence, especially if I'm unaware of who you are, which usually I can pick up anyway. Astrology is somehow validating to me. I don't know. I don't need anybody to validate me, but a chart. But when I'm coaching someone, and my coaching is closed right now, I think I'm going to reopen one for the summer session. And it's going to be very limited to very few people, and it's going to be the entire summer. It'll be, 3 months long. So you are committed to shining bright and letting go and growing, then we need to talk. So, and really stepping into your essence. So when we look at going back to Mercury, Mercury is traveling, communication. Sometimes it's siblings. It's typically like the third house is what I like to call that. Well, Uranus, whatever you want to call it, to me, that is the mature outside communication planet. And it also is very much interested in shaking things up. And it's very much interested in revealing the truth and the fairness. And that means new technology. Now, everybody's talking about AI too. I think everybody thought the web was the devil, and we've seen what great things it can do. I think AI is very similar, but it's also encouraging us to become more innovative. And for me, being more innovative is not using it. And I have been guilty of using it for a little bit because I thought maybe that had something that I didn't have, but I have something it doesn't have. I have my third eye. I have my womb wisdom. I have years of experience, and I have my DNA that's been coded since my grandma's eggs, my mom's eggs, my grandma's eggs, my great grandma's eggs, right? Like, I've had all of that wisdom passed on to me, and you have wisdom passed on to you too, whether you believe it or not. Haven't you ever been in things and I'm like, I'm fearful, but nothing ever happened to me? But maybe it did. Maybe it did in just another lifetime. So with this, we're going to see the communication change. We're going to see systems fall. And here we are in the new moon in Taurus. What can we build for ourselves that is stable? I like to build businesses. So not only do I enjoy coaching, but I like to create brands and create content for fun. And I know I'm totally wild, but I also like to hang out with my friends and go on trips and things like that. So I don't do anything that doesn't bring me joy anymore. And I do not deny myself of any pleasure whatsoever. And I feel like that's the number one problem with us as women is we start saying, well, we can't have that because it costs too much, or we can't do that because it costs too much, or we can't do this for ourselves because it's too expensive. But your pleasure sometimes has a cost. And if you continuously deny yourself of pleasure, be it sexual, be it love, be it just pure joy and whimsy and childlike fun, and something that doesn't mean you're trying to receive money, or something that doesn't mean that you're just hanging, something that's just you're hanging out with your friends, or you're just really in love with your spouse, or any of those things. If you deny yourself those simple things, how many times have we gone to bed? If you're married, maybe you're not married, but maybe you're in a committed relationship. How many times have you gotten ready for bed, and your lover rolls over and is ready to party, and you're like, no, because I'm just too tired. And in your mind, you're too tired because you're too tired. You've been giving all day, and that this feels like another chore. But what if your partner maybe is just there that wants to, rub your feet, or, give you a place to relax for a minute? Sometimes our mindset messes up that whole game. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you are not having sex, that is our superpower, not meaning we use it for it is literally the superpower that connects all the other aspects of your relationships. So I was guilty of using it. I was guilty of manipulating it. I was guilty of, withholding. But also I was, in a space where it wasn't pleasurable at all. And I couldn't talk about it not being pleasurable. So really, I feel like this foundation, because Taurus is the sensual, pleasurable planet, and we need to really find what makes us feel good. People are going to hate that I'm talking about this, but I don't care anymore. So as I pull cards for today, I really want you to think about what can you build for just you that brings you pleasure, and it's also about taking care of your body. I've taken care of my body for the last year and I put on 15 pounds and I'm so inflamed. But I'm now starting to realize because of the stress I was under. And it was stress that I had no control over. And it's like I finally am able to release that and just flow again. And it's coming back to me. And my body is physically coming back to me too. And I'm starting to sleep again and all of those things. So eliminating stress, we can say, but truly just honoring yourself. I think I would have been a lot worse had I not been honoring myself over the last year. So it is what it is. And we're moving forward in that. So I'm going to do a reading here. And I think I'm going to do it for each of the signs. So I will timestamp it for you. All right. Okay, so Aries starting at 10:58. So I'm going to pull one card here. Oh, all right, Aries. The Nine of Pentacles. Well, you certainly have had, if you are an Aries sun or rising or moon or big placements of Aries, the Nine of Pentacles is about you've almost accomplished everything, right? You have all your ducks in the row. You have your business plan. You have all of your plans. You have all of your reality sitting in front of you, just waiting for you to step off. And I feel like lately you've been like so hesitant because you've tried so many times before. But I want to tell you, businesswoman to businesswoman, you just got to take the chance. Okay. You just got to take the chance. And I know you don't have a hard time taking chances, but I'm feeling like you're scared to take another chance and to lose again. But look at what everything that you have ran to before and it didn't work out. But what did you learn from that? Like all of those pieces. My biggest pet peeve is someone who just, you start telling them about your idea and they're like, that's never going to work. That's never. And this is someone who goes to work every day for somebody else. So whatever you've been sitting on, I feel like, and the reason I see this is because I do feel like I have a lot of business women that subscribe to me that have their own business, but have other things too. So whatever it is, please don't forget to jump. The world needs you right now. The shadow side is your intuition, knowing your shadow side. So here's what I'm thinking. This is again about learning to listen to your body and understanding the fear is a lie. But sometimes you have to feel in your body where that fear is coming from. Is it in, like, do you feel it in your stomach, like right beneath your breast? Well, that's just your confidence, right? Do you feel it in your womb? Well, that's almost like a fear of creativity or being seen a little bit. Or maybe thinking that your creativity is a little weird. Sometimes it can be real low, that feeling of like, when you just think about what that looks like and struggling, it could be your root, right? But fear is a lie. But again, feeling it in your body, we all light up fully for different things. And I think even if you light up fully and take the step to move forward, you're going to get some sort of reward. But this is really telling me that what you have, it's important you take. Yeah, in fact, I'm hearing like, take the step. Just take the step. Okay. And the one right after that, after your intuition and your knowing and you're just really pausing, because that's the other thing where Saturn is right now. We're in this like fiery Aries node, but then also like we have Saturn going, okay, we're not going to do it the same. Okay. Because everything we've done was the same. We're going to build differently. So, you're going to build to where it's fair for you and fair for everyone else. If this is a legal matter, like if you're looking at a court, everything's going to work out for you. Okay. So don't worry about what this is. Everything in court is going to work out for you to the highest and to your highest good. Okay. So that is Aries. All right. I'm going to set this down for a second, and we're going to shuffle for Taurus. 1504. All right. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. How are you? I hope you are well. Amazing. And we're in our season, and we're in our new moon of planting seeds. Wow. And coming right up is the Ace of Pentacles. So it sounds like either you have an offer or something is being offered to you. And please know it's a good offer. And what that means is sometimes we get wrapped up in the dream of it. And then when we do something for a little bit and it doesn't meet the dream expectations, then we're like, well, why am I even bothering? But here's the thing. And I'm showing this again. Many of us have several different businesses, and they all come together at some point to create an income for yourself, right? To create some sort of stability for yourself. And I feel like this one is saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Okay. I feel like that. I felt like that when I was working as a registered dental hygienist. Like I had a license to maintain. I had to get all this extra education, and I only got to work for certain people for a certain time. And there was no like extra unless I wanted to break my back for it. And I just felt like, although it was a good income, when the standards started to shift, I just didn't feel aligned with it anymore. And I wasn't going to go sit and be locked into an operatory anymore. So I had to think of other things to do to help create the income for myself. And I have, and for my family too. And so I have different layers of things that I do, and they all matter, right? They all do something. So I feel like this is a don't put all of your eggs in one basket kind of thing, but it's important for you to at least dip in the basket and see where it goes. Okay. Your intuition is your guidance and direction. This is the shadow. Again, I feel heavily with this about the body, just finding the guidance to really, be quiet, stop, listen, build effortlessly, and listen to your body. If you're feeling resistance in your heart, if you're resistance in your voice, if you feel resistance in your third eye, if you feel your resistance like there's something blocking you, go inward and dig deeper. Okay? Yeah. Whatever you give to something, you're going to get out of it. So again, like if you can't commit to something that takes 100% of your time, and if the juice isn't worth the squeeze, then maybe you need to just kind of separate your time a little bit. Give the time that serves you back 100%. This is also just so you know, this is like a windfall of stuff that you don't have to pay back. Okay. I almost feel like you're going to be getting money that you don't have to pay back, money that you earned. And it's almost like you have to remember that we receive currency from sources known and unknown. So things happen, miracles happen all the time. I am a witness to them all the time. I can tell you multiple times that I have been protected and guided and supported when I feel like I shouldn't have been, but my faith has definitely helped. So that's it for you, Taurus. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, and make sure that you're doing everything with pleasure in mind, right? Making sure there is pleasure in mind. Now, sometimes we don't do the things that we don't want to do the things that we don't want to do. But I mean, if it is full on, like radiating your whole body, like no, then emphatically it's a no. You got to find something else. And the only way you're going to find something else is if you go within and be quiet. that gift will be right there for you. So I'm going to put this down to move on to Gemini. 1958. Okay, Gemini. All right, Gemini. The Seven of Swords. So I feel like, look, it's almost the new moon here. I feel like with the full moon that we had in Scorpio, again, illusions are completely out in the open. And I feel like you're one of those people that is seeing, when I talked about the movie, like when I'm seeing the movie and it's like, this is not real. Sometimes, as my husband says, you got to just take care of your front yard. And I feel like that's what you're seeing. And like, you've got that one, this can also mean betrayal, but I feel like it's not a betrayal. I feel like you've got like one more trick up your sleeve. That's why she has this sword in the back. You've got one more like hit. You've had other ones out there just kind of feeling out. You've got two that's not working, but you have this one sword yet left, and you're going to hold it for a little bit. Maybe you're keeping quiet about something, but this is what's going to help you build your stability in the future. Balance, the juggler. So in the shadow, yeah, maybe you have too many irons in the fire, Gemini. You know, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect at everything you do. Like, you were made in perfection, and we've been hit with all these ideas of what perfect is. And so now we kind of hold ourselves to a standard. But what if you just held your standard to you, to being you? Wouldn't that be great? I think the world would totally benefit from you just holding yourself to your own standard. March to your own drum. You don't have to perform for anybody. And your affirmation is you must be learning a new skill. So good for you, Gemini. Always learning, right? Gemini rising, sun and moon. Always learning. Always learning. So you're learning a new skill that's going to bring you pleasure. And so you may not feel like the return on this skill is as big as what everybody says it is, but it's good for you. It makes you happy. So yeah, there you go, Gemini. All right, moving on to Cancer. 2255. All right, my beautiful Cancerians, how are you? I hope you got through the full moon the best way you know how. All right. Ooh, okay. So Cancer, you've been feeling pretty stable. In fact, I feel like you're like, okay, I'm not going to tell anybody that I've been feeling stable because everybody is like in the middle of like a crap show. And my life is actually really good and I'm enjoying myself, but I don't want to tell people I'm enjoying myself because then I don't want them to be jealous or angry at me because I am enjoying myself. And I don't want them to think that I don't care about them. But yeah, I'm enjoying myself. So you are enjoying yourself, and whatever you're creating right now is meant to be alive. It's married into the system. Like, it is married into our collective energy. So whatever it is, I feel like you're getting that juicy, that and going back to pleasure, like, I'm a Taurus sun in the 12th house. So I see stuff, and I'm going to talk about stuff that makes people uncomfortable, and it's probably going to trigger you. But I feel like you are writing about your passion. You're writing about your, and not even writing, like whatever it is that you're making, it's like passionate, it's beautiful, it's juicy, it's a little taboo. Or what you feel is taboo. It's all those beautiful things all wound up into one. And I feel like you're really, like, whatever it is, it's committed to you too. It was a message that needed to be heard. feeling sensitivity. Okay. Hello, Cancer. Yeah. So again, like I said before, I don't want to tell anyone, okay, because I don't want the other shoe to drop, and I don't want anybody to think that I don't care about the world as a whole. But at the same time, I'm doing really good. I'm really happy. I love my kids. I love my husband. I love my life. And oh my God, if anybody knows that I love my life, that would be so wrong. No. It doesn't mean that you don't care about the tragedy in the world. It just means you've opted out and you are trying to support your own home, and that is your job. Okay, Cancer? That is your job. So yeah, stand your ground. Stand your ground. Protect your peace. Because whatever you were carrying, you've been carrying a lot, and that is almost over. And I feel like that's why you're so resistant to like be in such a celebratory mode, because you were carrying things for a very long time. Okay. So yeah, let's just call it what it is. You're happy, you're joyful, and it doesn't matter. Everything outside of your home. What my husband says is, take care of your front yard and don't worry about other people's yards. And it doesn't mean you don't care, because you do a bunch of other stuff to take care of those people, but you got to take care of you first. And your frequency elevates that light and pulls people out of density, period. All right. Let's move on to Leo. 2617. All right, Leo. What's going on for Leo for this new moon? I'm going to take that because I don't feel like that was real. Just one card, please. Thank you. All right, Leo too. So it never fails me when some concepts overlap, especially when we're talking about rising signs and like sun signs, like concepts overlapping for people. So again, for Leo, I feel like you've been, I feel like you have been in a phase of life where you're just trying to reprioritize everything, right? And Leo being a cardinal sign, being a fire sign, like you are, I'm sorry, not a cardinal sign, you're a fixed sign. You are stubborn and you're just trying to hold things together that you really intend to make things happen and see through. And I applaud you, Leo, because you've been going through this massive change, and now we're going to see this huge technological change happen, and you are going to be bracing. Like, I feel like it's going to be bracing, but I don't want you to get wrapped up in that. Like, I want you to get wrapped up in your heart and how your love and your type of love for people is so valid. Like, your loyalty is so valid right now, and your beauty. Like, at what point, why are we shaming women because they're beautiful? Or we assume that they're crappy on the inside because they're beautiful on the outside. Wrong. When people take care of themselves and you can hear them speak and they are speaking of wisdom, those women aren't the ones that get trampled on. Those women are not the ones, other than the ones that will be like, if they want to attack your personal, it's like, how many people have probably attacked them personally? So they see someone who's confident and they're like, oh, I've got to attack them because, I can't feel as confident as them. Just stop worrying about that. I know you don't, Leo, because you're a Leo, but just own your beauty. Own your beauty. It's a vulnerable thing for you. Owning your beauty is very vulnerable. Being out front seems vulnerable for you, but that is part of your beauty. Your vulnerability is what makes you beautiful and what makes you feel like when other people are around you, they're like, oh my gosh, like, not only is she gorgeous, she has this beautiful heart. She's so giving, like, I should be better. So your frequency helps elevate other people's frequency. And hold your ground. Hold your ground. I swear I shuffled these, but yeah, hold your ground. Like, stand up for this isn't fighting either. This is like, okay, these ideas didn't work and it's not being accepted, but I'm going to hold this idea and I'm going to hold it to my chest and I'm not going to back down from it. This is what I want. and I'm not going to back down. And I don't care who says it's not going to work, it's going to work. Okay. So moving on to Virgo, 2959. All right, Virgo. Virgo, another earth sign for this new moon in Taurus. I feel like a lot of us have been feeling a sense of, All right, Virgo. So for Virgo rising and sun and moon, I'm feeling like your perfect world is shattering. And what that means is you are taking on like other people's devastation to not manage your own. And it almost feels like to manage your own, you're like, you literally look at your life and look at what you've built and you're like, is this worth it? Is this worth anything? Like, what am I doing? I'm involving myself in all these other things except for this one tree at home. And it feels like you're just kind of going, is this worth my peace? And I'm telling you right now, Virgo, your peace is so important. Your internal peace is so important to the frequency of our planet, particularly women. You have integrity, and there is a compass in that integrity. And I feel like you've been ignoring the compass of your integrity to like show up for other things. But when we're trying to fight battles that are similar to the ones in our own home, but yet we're giving all this energy outside instead of in our home, that isn't integrity. That's living a lie. And that's not like you. We don't lie. Virgos do not lie. So I'm going to ask you to draw on your new compass here, especially in this new moon in Taurus season where we're planting seeds and we're building, okay? We're building the stability. And it looks like it says keep moving forward. So apparently you've been stuck because I feel like your integrity and also like your loyalty, you've been stuck a little bit because things aren't what they seem. And you can't figure out how to make things happen. Well, it's because you've lost your pleasure center, what I've been talking about all the time. You've lost your pleasure center because you're so busy trying to fight things that aren't working for you. And these systems aren't working for you. So why are you continuing to fight a system that is fighting you? I'm not saying join the system. I'm saying absolve yourself, unplug from the system, and start watering your tree, your house, your home. This isn't disassociating, folks. This is truly using our energy to repair what's falling apart right now. We have to. We have to. All right, moving on to beautiful Libra, 34. So Libra rising, sun and moon. Yeah. Let me shuffle the shadow cards again. Okay. Libra, sun and rising and moon. We have the Queen of Wands. So Libra, The scales don't lie for you. And this is, again, figuring out your pleasure, right? I feel like a lot of us have just lost the pleasures in life, whether we're taking medication